This is a foreshadowing for the Prime Minister of what is going to come under a Trump administration. They will be derailed almost every day by something that the President says or what the White House releases or a decision that they make that is going to distract from what it is the government wants to talk about. I mean, we had situations in Downing Street where Trump would wander out onto the White House lawn in front of the cameras and say, oh, something's happened in the UK. I'm going to go and call Theresa. And suddenly the phone would ring in the Prime Minister's office. Oh, God, the President's on the phone. And this is a foreshadowing for it.
Reform UK has re-emerged on the political stage with what can only be described as a significant strategic shift. The conversation has even drawn the attention of Elon Musk, amplifying a debate that cuts to the heart of justice and free speech in this country. Make no mistake, this goes beyond party politics. What we're witnessing here has real implications for the future of democratic governance in the United Kingdom. This is a development that demands our attention. Before we continue with the analysis, I'd ask you to take a moment. If you're finding value in this coverage, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support enables us to continue producing the kind of in-depth political reporting that matters. Thank you.
And it is pretty embarrassing for Britain to have the special relationship that we have, and everybody knows we have it, with the United States of America, but Donald Trump has seen fit not to invite Sir Keir Starmer, no doubt because of his views on Donald Trump, no doubt because of David Lammy's sayings on Donald Trump, maybe indeed because of Sadiq Khan's protestations about what a horrible man Donald Trump is. You know, you can't mess around in politics.
What we're seeing here is a move by one of the world's most polarizing political figures, one that appears to transcend standard diplomatic practice and enters the realm of personal score settling. The facts are straightforward. Donald Trump, known for his uncompromising approach and demand for loyalty, has deliberately excluded Keir Starmer, leader of the UK Labour Party, from what is widely regarded as one of this year's most significant political gatherings. This is no ordinary diplomatic slight. It's a deliberate and public rebuke, one with consequences that extend well beyond the immediate moment. By leaving Starmer outside the room, Trump is sending an unmistakable signal. This isn't merely a procedural oversight. It's a statement, and a potent one at that. Think about what this means. Starmer represents one of the world's leading democracies, yet he's been sidelined at a critical juncture. The fallout from such a decision reverberates across the international stage, putting strain on long-standing alliances and prompting serious questions about the state of global diplomacy. So what lies behind this move? What drove Trump to adopt such a confrontational posture? To answer that, we need to examine the history between these two men, a relationship shaped by political conflict, ideological divergence, and what may well be a mutual sense of grievance that neither side has chosen to let go.
And next Monday, when Donald Trump is inaugurated as the 47th President of the United States of America, I consider it to be a massive stain on British history that our Prime Minister will not be there. Let's ask Tobias Ellwood what he makes of it. Tobias, very good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
It's pretty awful, is it not, that, you know, here we are, supposedly the friend of the United States, the special relationship that exists between the two countries, the long history of support for one another in times of war and in times of peace, and we don't have a seat at the table.
This goes beyond the personal dynamics between two political figures. What we're examining here is the relationship between two nations, bound by centuries of shared history and facing a future that remains deeply interconnected. But here's what sets this apart. Donald Trump does not operate within conventional diplomatic norms. He sets his own terms, and when confronted or opposed, his response is rarely rhetorical. It's tangible and it's swift. In this report, we'll break down the context behind this diplomatic exclusion, examining the underlying motivations, assessing the broader implications, and analyzing what this could mean for the trajectory of U.S.-UK relations moving forward.
We've seen what happened when Europe opened their doors to jihad. Look at Paris. Look at London. They're no longer recognizable. And I'm going to get myself into a lot of trouble with the folks in Paris and the folks in London. But you know what? That's the fact. They are no longer recognizable, and we can't let that happen to our country. We have incredible culture, tradition. Nothing wrong with their culture, their tradition. We can't let that happen here, and I'll never let it happen to the United States of America.
For Starmer,
This meeting represented a critical opportunity, a platform to articulate his vision for the United Kingdom on the international stage. It was a chance to strengthen the transatlantic alliance, to influence significant policy discussions, and to reassert Britain's standing as a leading voice in global affairs. His exclusion, however, has not passed without consequence. It's raised pointed questions, both at home and abroad, about the UK's diplomatic footing under his leadership. Trump's decision to shut Starmer out was not simply a response to Labour's involvement in the 2020 U.S. election campaign. It was a deliberate and strategic maneuver, a signal designed to resonate far beyond that closed-door meeting.
Obviously now the looming threat of tariffs. So what are you going to do to dissuade President-elect Trump from imposing tariffs on the UK?
Well, I'm not going to speculate as to what he is going to do. It won't come as any surprise to you that I'm not a fan of tariffs, and therefore we have to make sure that we avoid tariffs. We've got very good trade with the US, as we've got very good trade with other countries around the world. I want to improve on that, and as you will know, I had a meeting with President Trump in September in New York. I've had a number of phone calls since, and including one yesterday. I won't go into the details of what we discussed, but
Donald Trump has long placed loyalty at the center of his political and personal philosophy, not merely as a desirable trait, but as a fundamental requirement in any relationship, whether in business, politics, or beyond. When he perceives that loyalty has been violated, the consequences tend to be both pointed and intentional. To make sense of the current friction, we need to revisit the 2020 U.S. presidential election. At that time, several members of the UK Labour Party, including high-profile MPs, actively campaigned against Trump, backing Kamala Harris and the Democratic ticket. In Trump's view, this was not simply a matter of differing political positions. He interpreted it as a personal affront. And Trump, as we know, does not forget those he believes have crossed him. His decision to exclude Keir Starmer from this high-level meeting was anything but procedural. It was a deliberate statement, one designed to reinforce his expectations around accountability and mutual respect in international politics. Meanwhile, Trump's continued warmth toward figures such as Nigel Farage offers a telling contrast. It reveals the kind of loyalty he rewards and the political relationships he chooses to invest in.
You have a man from Europe, I don't know if he's here, I saw him backstage. What he did was, and what he is doing is sort of what we did a few years ago. He's doing a great job. He's he's always been my friend for some reason. He liked me, I liked him. And he's shaking it up pretty good over there. He was the big winner of the last election in the UK, and he's a very spectacular man, very highly respected, Nigel Farage. Well, I love the people of the UK. I mean, I've loved them. They show great support for me. When they were doing that ridiculous thing about a couple of months ago, the people of the UK showed such great support. I love the people of the UK. My mother was born, as you know, in Scotland. She loved Scotland. She loved the Queen. She was a great person, and she loved Scotland.
The stakes are significant, and the message is unambiguous. In Donald Trump's political calculus, respect and loyalty are not negotiable terms. But Keir Starmer's difficulties extend well beyond his strained relationship with the former U.S. president. Domestically, his leadership is facing mounting criticism, particularly over immigration policy. A growing number of voters believe he has lost sight of the concerns of British citizens, with critics arguing that his approach appears to prioritize newcomers over the needs of those already here. That perception has fueled a sense of abandonment among parts of the electorate. The commitments Starmer made during his campaign to restore trust, to put citizens first, to govern with transparency, are now being put to the test. Questions are being asked about whether he can deliver on those promises. How Starmer handles this challenge will shape not only his own political future, but also the state of relations between the UK and the United States. Trump's decision to exclude Keir Starmer from this high-level meeting was not simply about settling old scores. It carried broader implications, a statement on loyalty, respect, and the realities of international diplomacy. The consequences of that decision will reverberate for some time. For Starmer, the path forward is clear. He must rebuild credibility, repair damaged relationships, and demonstrate that he is capable of representing Britain effectively on the world stage. The question now is whether he can meet that challenge. Time will tell. The exclusion of Starmer from Trump's meeting is more than a momentary political embarrassment. It represents a serious diplomatic rupture, one with global ramifications. Consider the context. The leader of the Labour Party, representing a nation with one of the deepest historical ties to the United States, has been left out of discussions shaping future alliances, trade agreements, and defense policy. The symbolism cannot be overlooked. For Britain, this is not just about Starmer personally. It raises broader questions about the UK's influence and standing in the world. International observers are watching closely, assessing how Britain responds and whether the country can still project itself as a major player under Starmer's leadership. For Trump, this was a strategic move, a deliberate signal that respect in international politics must be earned, not taken for granted, even from an ally as historically close as the United Kingdom. This is now a test of Starmer's diplomatic skill. One of the key decisions he faces is how to respond. Does he pursue reconciliation, attempting to mend the fractured relationship with Trump? Or does he hold firm to his previous criticisms, risking a deeper rift? That choice will define not just his own trajectory, but Britain's diplomatic direction in the years ahead. Starmer will need to proceed with care. Every statement, every gesture will be scrutinized. Trump does not easily forget perceived slights. His position is straightforward. Alliances are built on mutual respect and shared principles. Starmer's past actions, from permitting Labour MPs to campaign against Trump in 2020 to his public criticism of Trump's policies, have created a divide that will not be simple to close. The question is whether Starmer possesses the political dexterity required to restore Britain's credibility in Trump's view. This moment also underscores a broader challenge for Britain. By sidelining Starmer, Trump has drawn an implicit comparison with Nigel Farage, a figure he clearly respects. Farage embodies the kind of leadership Trump favors, bold, direct, and unyielding. For Starmer, that comparison presents both a problem and an opportunity. Can he step up and prove himself as a leader with comparable influence, or will he remain in the shadow of a figure who appears to have earned Trump's confidence? The road ahead is difficult. To regain his standing, Starmer must manage two fronts simultaneously, repairing relations with Trump while addressing rising frustration at home. It's a complex balancing act, rebuilding public trust domestically while convincing the international community that he is a serious and credible leader. For Trump, this is a tactical win. By excluding Starmer, he has reinforced his reputation as a leader who insists on respect and loyalty. But it is also a calculated risk. Will this move ultimately strengthen the US-UK relationship by prompting Britain to reconsider its leadership? Or will it deepen divisions between the two countries? As this situation continues to develop, one thing is clear: the stakes are extraordinarily high. The decisions made in the months ahead will shape not only the future of transatlantic relations, but also the political legacies of both Donald Trump and Keir Starmer. For Starmer, this is a defining moment, a chance to prove his leadership or risk being remembered as the figure who presided over a decline in Britain's global influence. For Trump, it is an opportunity to reassert his vision of international leadership, cementing his legacy as a leader who operates on his own terms and demands respect accordingly. We'd like to hear your perspective on this.
If you found this analysis valuable, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support enables us to continue producing the kind of in-depth political coverage you depend on. Be sure to turn on notifications so you don't miss future reports. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.